ang equivalent sige sa layman's point of view, tinatawag natin na siya ng PES. P-E-S. And what is PES? Stands for Performance Evaluation Sheet. Ang munang ginaubra ninyo sa kada tapos semester. Ang ginag-ubra galing online lang. Kaya ano ba kada tapos semester? Nag-evaluate sa performance ng teacher. Okay? So, hindi na mag-uwag na tawag na scorecard. Tinatawag na sa na scorecard. Kaya kung mag-evaluate ka mo, ginag-scorean yung kada item from 1 to 5. Pag luwas lang sa iyong mata mo yala katala, mula sa 5 ka na. Kasi ubra ka lang comments, kaya tapos na. No? Kaya dali ito. Okay na? Yes. Okay. So that's a balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard also defines the strategy that management would include in a firm's critical success factor. So meaning to say, the success of the company depends upon the performance of the individual, either financially or operationally. And how does management check whether they are in congruence with what the objective of the firm is? With the use of the scorecard. Okay? So in that particular topic, there are words that you need to understand. An example of which is goal congruence. When we talk about goal congruence, the top-level management develop visions and missions as well as objective, and they bring this vision and vision downstream pakadto sa mga empleyado, pakadto sa mga estudyante. So, kinahanglan ay goal congruence. Ano po siya sa ginatawag goal congruence? Kapag anong objective sa ibabaw, dapat parehas man ang objective sa mga tao sa ilalog. Did you get the point? So, what will happen if there is no goal congruence? There is a possibility that the objective will not be achieved. For example, naging ba idea sa teams ng College of Commerce basketball? Ang iba niya to yung nila mag-intra sa basketball para na mag-champion ang College of Commerce. Imo nag-intra kaya tungkol kaya ginalagas mo lang yan uniform. Is there goal congruence? So will be objective achieved if that is what you will do in Malaysia. Okay? So paliyogan, magsagot ka na balance scorecard, tool lang ini siya. So that management can develop strategy to achieve the objective of the company. Now, with regards to the firm's critical success factor, there are 4 areas that they address. One is financial perspective. 2, customer perspective. 3, internal business process perspective. And 4, learning and growth. So may explanation na inadra. Ang explanation, may ibutang ko dra, ako nila ang mga explanation. So no, saan nabasahan ko sa puto sa libros. Kaya yung material, kung natawag first page, summary na ina. Sir, ano yung topic, sir, na balance scorecard? Ano sa libro, sa principle of cost accounting? Pero wala doon ikinan na, o kung ano wala. Wala daw yung libro, wala. Wala. No. Sino nakadala sa libro? No. Paliyon ako pilantaw sa likod sa libro. May kalagila na glossary. Pagkita, adila sa glossary, hindi kay glossary ha. Sa glossary, ang kinatawag na balance scorecard. Kaya balot ko ako kung wala tira. Balance scorecard. Natawa sa letter M and balance. Meron wala? Nagpunta ko wala ka sa libro. Hindi niya tanan yung topic 3, hindi mo ibo. Wala. Ano pa nagagyan po sa libro nyo? and the rest of the topic that falls under the midterm examination. Alam ako sinabubasa. Ano niya ako kaya isa pa rin. Okay, so i-correlate nyo ang sa material sa babasahan nila sa libro mo. Okay? Clear? Don't rely. Tani ko yung kasi hindi ko di pag-distribute mo. Bago mo na, pero ako doon sinipag, color-color, ranyo naman lang yun. Ang isang po tani yung mag-ubrasan mo, so na mo nabasahan mo dito, hindi mo pa naman summarize, hindi mo pa sa notebook, para din ako lang sa notebook, mag-on, hindi kayo din basahan mo tanang-tanang. Okay, first area, factor. We have financial perspective. Si Linya, it describes the economic consequence of action taken in customers, internal business process, and learning and growth perspective. Meaning, financial perspective encompasses the remaining three perspective. So, ano yung final output mo? Ang financial perspective. Take note, hindi nasa ginambal mo balance scorecard, it should include both financial and operational performance. So, muna ang nag-address, ay isa na gina-address nila, financial perspective. It encompasses customers' perspective, internal business process, learning and growth perspective. Okay, the second factor is the customer perspective. Sa San Agustin, sinong customer rin? Estudyante. Gani, ang una, at the end of the period, you are evaluating your teacher. So that the management will know whether you are satisfied with the service of the teacher. Okay? When you go to Chowking or Shakey's, pagkatapos po sa kao na ginahatag man sila nga papel sa imo, sir, pwede mo magpinapan. Ano na siya? Evaluation sheet. You evaluate the ambience, you evaluate the services, you evaluate the quality of food. Am I right? So that the Shaky management will know whether you are satisfied as a customer. Ayaw ko rin ang sir. At yung okay, anong pulos na gagawin mo pag-evaluate? Okay, third, internal business process perspective. Internal business process perspective is about processes, procedures, whether this process or procedures are being followed. In San Agustin, we have a department or office that takes care of this number 3, and that is your SQMO. SQMO, sino ko sa SQMO? Anong meaning sa SQMO? Strategy and Quality Management Office of Strategy, arak sa subong nila o sa balance scorecard. Ano gina-check sa SQMO? Whether the procedures are followed. Wala sa may kinalakawan. Kaya ako na kung may enrollment, ginanahangad ang steps to be followed. Kung mamayo ka mo sa magpakonsulta ka mo sa iyong teacher, may napilapan ka mo itong form and then steps to be followed. Did you know this? Ano pa ka mo? Pag-enroll ka mo, may steps to be followed. Ang na may clearance, tanan-tanan, as-tas na kapusan. Amo nang gina-check sa SQMO, kag some other evaluating bodies like PACOCOA, like PAASCO, whether the steps are being followed or not. Because procedures and processes will affect the strategy of a particular company, the quality of service of a particular company. Okay, fourth, learning and growth perspective. Pag-imutang pa natin ang mga post infrastructure. Identify and defines the capabilities that an organization needs to create long-term growth and improvement. Ang basta man sabihin ka mo, ay, nagpatindog ang San Agustin para magdabo ang kwan. No, that is not the only reason na nagpatindog sa Pilipinas San Agustin. That is growth. is good because that is needed. Hindi gusto sa Agustin na crowded kita sa isang karoon. Supposedly, tanin ang number of students in a classroom should only be 40. Isa na yung nagaling 50. O, di paano na matutuan ang 50 na hindi kagaya sa tutulog sa 30 lang, 50. Right? Kung namin ang infrastructure, maayo man ang quality sa service, hindi na mag-provide. Now, I am not talking only about infrastructure, but part of learning and growth is attendance of the faculty or students to seminars, conferences, trainings, because that is also important for capability building. You need to have a capable personnel to teach. Kailangan ma-expose na sa tayo na matutunan nila sa kwat, tapos na nila dili sa salod. Kung madalagan nila dili sa salod, kaya ma-share nila sa mga estudyante, then there is growth. Learning and growth. Questions? Any questions? Okay. Now, important words that you need to consider regarding the balanced scorecard are as follows. Number 1, cycle time. Ang tawag ko lang ha, kung familiar sa inyo. Cycle time is the time required to produce a unit of product. I-correlate na niya ini sa cost accounting. Pag-upra natin sa cost production report. So that is number of hours divided by the number of units produced. Hello.
Gabi chunks na.
Nakakipon ang tanong.
Saya. No. Record mo. Parang hindi na ako lumayo. Pwede ito your voice. Ang ginagawa. Thank you. Ito yung tabi.
Okay. So we have cycle time. And the reciprocal of cycle time is the velocity. Ito ay formula sa ulit lang. So ito din, stability mo yung kung may sasabi mo, gusto ko na-discard. Okay. And then we have also the formula for productivity. That is the relationship between your outputs and inputs. So the productivity ratio, that is output divided by inputs. Any questions with regards to the formula? If I can see my kapamang, saan naman yung output in terms of peso value or in terms of units? Bantol na nagagad sa bubot ko na sa diba? Ano na, peso, output o peso or units o output or inputs? Units na. Units. Okay, so we need to say productivity ratio is about materials. Kaya wala ka sa units ang labor. Hours pa na yung labor. Am I right? Yes. Sige na lang, wala sa bagay. Para hindi ka pagkapuyo. Okay. Then we have also partial productivity. The ratio of output to the quantity of a single factor of production. Formula, quantity of output produced divided by quantity of input used. So, klaro na volume na yan. And here for total productivity, ang numerator ni mo quantity, volume, while ang denominator mo, peso. Okay? Ang postal ng formula sa tiyo mo na matamo nila, wait lang, ay hindi ka tignan. Now, in order to achieve the objective of the firm, of the company, they have to strategize. Sa Bisaya, ang strategy, tinatawag natin nga, diskarte. Kinanglan nila mag-diskarte. Okay, so when we talk about strategy, it specifies how an organization matches its own capability with opportunities in the marketplace to accomplish its objective. And one tool used to strategize is your SWOT. Very good. That is why on the definition of strategy, you already find two words which is also included in SWOT. Capability and opportunities. Let us translate capability in terms of SWOT. Strength. Whenever you have strength, use that so that you can achieve your objectives. You have the opportunity to achieve what you want to achieve. And that is your objective. And there are two basic strategy used in an organization. The first one is product differentiation, and the other one is known as cost leadership. Pag siling kita ng product differentiation, your product, although it is of the same type, but different with the other competitors. Parehas man siya, pero lain siya sa ibang mga competitors. Example, let's talk about laundry detergents. Alam mo, kasi yung laundry detergents, di ba, no? Ha? Di ba? Tingnan na nalaing diyan ang iya sa kanya daw. Is it on the packaging? Does packaging plays important role in product differentiation? Answer? Yes. So it's a matter of marketing strategy. What else? Ay, sige na mo, ang Ariel niya nagkakapakuha sa kulog, amo ko na naman kaya kasi na. So, ipabati niya kita that the product is different from the other products. And through advertisements, nag-abot na sa pangsarod sa customer. Kaya nagpati ang customer, nga lain diyan ang iyong produkto. Bisa na mahal. Oh, another product differentiation with regards to technology. Cellphone, Samsung. Bisa mahal. Gusto mo maka-Samsung kang Galaxy. Hindi niya kamatinil sa kuko. Kaya lain niya sa Samsung yung hindi naman sa Vivo. Ano pala nindo kung wala ibubo, kung takon, baklan ka sa kakay ko nanay mo, cherry mobile. Sakso. Ano ba kinaya ng ibo reaction ko nang ihatid si nanay, kontak tayo sa Christmas? Ano ba sa mga 51 tayo na may antina, payag lang? No? Di ba? Because Samsung is different. You believe that Samsung is different from the other types of cell phone. So, pangalawang dapat sina product differentiation. Oh. Sa sunod sa Chinda, may nagabalikan na ng mga puto. Na dito kami dyan nagabakasin yan. Ay, laking dyan sa puto. May putos ka dahil sa isang pilit. Tapos, damo ka ta. Tadi Yubi na pinakaluwi kita na pinakaluwi. That's product differentiation. Okay? Sabi mo, ako magaling na ako ng reaksyon, pero magaling ko yan na strategy na kami. Yes, that's part of the strategy. Basic strategy. So, bisang mahal, ginatusan. Pamangkot, nga din ka na kayo sa San Agustin na walang tres pabalong na kayo. Kaya ito man ito BSDA, man ito. Yung mga sila sa wit, kami nakautansi man itong wit. Or sa watch show, madali kayo sa San Agustin. Kaya gusto mo, sa LNCT at San Agustin. Wala, sana all. Ay, nako. That's product differentiation. Second, basic strategy, costs leadership. Oh, sa cost leadership, ang idea naman nila panubo-nubo presyo. Because kung manubo ang presyo mo, you become a leader because you are selling more. Am I right? Yes? Okay. So, ano naman ang definition niya? Cost leadership, ability to achieve lower cost relative to competitors through productivity and efficiency improvement, elimination of waste, and time control, time cost control. Chinese people produces less cost product mix. Pero pamangko, inaawala, ina-optimize. Kaysa na ang ilang ng cost. Leadership. Kulang. Ano ang kulang nila? Ang productivity, kanyang efficiency sa performance sa product na gina-produce nila. Ano product na produce nila? Inferior quality. Substandard. Okay? Substandard. That is why we resort to the next highest prices. Because we don't want to sacrifice quality over quantity or lower costs. You only become a cost leader if you satisfy these four requirements: efficiency improvement, elimination of waste, tight control cost, and productivity. If you fail to satisfy these four requirements for cost leadership, then you are not considered as a cost leader company. Now, since we're talking about a scorecard, at the end of the day, we need to evaluate the success of your strategy. Para sa basketball lang, ay nagdaon-daon. Kasi siyempre, kung manigin ko na ako, tingka ka na yung taas, hindi. Saan mo niyo? Yung manigin mo na ako. Di sa daso na ako naman yung para nadaon na tanan. So, evaluate the success of the strategy in terms of growth, price recovery, and productivity components. Growth means the measure of change with regards to your revenue and costs as a result in the prices of your outputs and inputs. Measure the change of revenue and cost from selling more or less, assuming nothing else has changed. Another component, price recovery. Even though you're spending high, you can still recover your cost if you sell more. That's price recovery. Measure the change in revenue and cost solely as a result of changes in the prices of outputs and inputs. And out of the three components, only the third component is talking about decreases. Ang sa ibabaw, puro ng tanan increases. Measure the decrease in costs from using fewer units or better mix. Saan ang better mix man? Magyan na ito nini sa uli kung mag-aral na kita sa short-term decision making. Product mix. Product mix of inputs and reducing capacity, or reducing, another word for capacity, if you recall, standard costing is reducing fixed costs. Because you cannot reduce variable costs, because variable costs vary in direct proportion to production. Kung nag-increase yung production, hindi mo ginasya magpa-reduce. More ginasya kung anong kadami na produce mo. Pero ang fixed cost mo, pwede mo na siya ma-reduce. Saan ka ma-reduce ang fixed cost? Hindi ka magamit sa resulting. Hindi ka magamit pero kung pamaypay ka lang para wala ka depreciation. Imbes ka magpatindong ka building, hayong-hayong na lang po na mo para wala ka depreciation. Kasahod ka. Okay? Now, with regards to growth component of operating income change, the revenue effect of growth, if you look at the formula, sales volume current period minus sales volume prior period times prior period selling price. Take note of that formula because we will be encountering the same formula by the time I discuss to you gross profit variation analysis. That is the last topic for midterm. Gross profit variation analysis. The cost effect of growth for variable costs is units of inputs required to produce current period output in prior period, less actual units of input used to produce prior period output. Get the difference and multiply the difference with your prior period input price, and that will give you your cost effect of growth for variable costs. Please take note again of the formula, because that formula you will again encounter that in gross profit variation analysis. Please take note of what you are analyzing, the change in operating income. And operating income is derived from your gross profit. Am I right? Ha? So, nagtaon na ito nga nagabaylo ang gross profit sa kompanya. Ano gid ang mga factor ang nag-affect sa pagbaylo sa gross profit, either ma-increase o mag-decrease ang gross profit. No? Because there are only three factors that affects your gross profit. And you will know that by the time we discuss gross profit variation analysis. Okay, next. Price recovery component of operating income, both for variable and fixed, and the formula is selling price current period minus selling price prior period times actual units of output sold current period. If you compare your revenue effect of growth and your price recovery component, revenue effect of growth is talking about quantity of sales sold, while price recovery is about prices of the units sold. Peso na yan si Tagalog, quantity na yan ang sa Tagalog. Okay? Now, revenue effect growth is only affected by variable cost, but price recovery growth or price recovery component is affected by both fixed and variable components. And I think the formula is easy to understand. Sir, hindi lang kung sir may intindihan, hindi mo bala sir sa fixed cost bala sa door o kung sa variable cost bala, ang ginamultiply bala sir sa units of input required to produce current year output in prior years. Ma, hindi ko intindihan. Hindi ko bisaya ako intindihan mo. Sa Tagalog, actual units of capacity in prior period, because adequate capacity exists to produce current period output in prior years. Meaning to say, we convert current production in terms of the previous year production. And for the productivity component of operating income change, it is also affected by both fixed and variable. I will provide you example projects on how to use this formula by, I think, by next meeting. Ina kung wala. Ina kung may klase sa next meeting. By the way, wala klase. Ina sila kung may klase sa next meeting. Klaro ba? Ina kung may klase sa next meeting.